We're going to start 12-3, day 1, with 2 rules that have the word always in it. And if you don't learn these 2 rules right away, trigonometry is going to be a disaster. But if you learn them, you're going to go, I think trig's pretty dang easy. So it does hinge on your ability to understand these 2 rules. So I'm going to read them and then explain them. Number 1. Your reference angle, what the heck is that? I'll tell you in a minute. Must always be sandwiched between the x-axis and the spinner. We're going to take that, apply it to this. One little simple sample problem. This is telling you how far to spin your spinner. So there's my spinner. Because there's an implied plus, I go this way, 90, but I got to continue 60. And then I stop. Notice this is 60. That means this has to be 30, and if I asked you which one of those is your reference angle, read this. Your reference angle is always sandwiched between the x-axis, that's this, and the spinner, that's this. So which one qualifies? The 30. You just have to know that. Now what if I said spin it 200? Well, let's make it 240. That means I would spin it here, 180 plus 60, and then I would stop. Now this is 60. Question, does that mean that's my reference angle? Let's see if it passes the test. Is it sandwiched between the x-axis and my spinner? Here's my x-axis, here's my spinner. So in this case, yep, that's my reference angle. Yes, this is 30. But that is sandwiched between the y-axis and my spinner, so that would be disqualified. With that in mind, let's go on to the second rule. Always complete your triangle. Now, if I wanted to be more specific, I'd say your right triangle, because you cannot use SOHCAHTOA if you don't have a right triangle, because how could there be a hypotenuse without having a right triangle? So from the end of the spinner to the x-axis. Now, I'm just going to warn you, there's some problems in the packet, and the language goes like this. It says, find the 6 trigonometric functions of theta. Theta is your reference angle. In standard position, don't panic, that just means you're going to start your spinner where you always start it. You always start it right here. So we're on this problem, but it says, if the terminal side, and I'm telling you what the instructions say, passes through, and then they'll give you a point. I don't like it that it says passes through, because you're thinking, oh, it just goes right by. You ought to think of it as stops at, okay? That might help your mind process what they want. Here's what they want. So here's your spinner. It starts right here. And we spin it to -8, -15. So the end of the spinner goes around until it stops at. See, I don't like passes through. Just stop right there, okay? Now read this. You always complete your right triangle from the end of the spinner, which is right here. Here's a big moment, to the x-axis. You see, I have to go back that way. A lot of students will come back to the y-axis because they'll see a right triangle right here. It's good they're seeing the right triangle, not good that they're screwing up that rule. That's an always rule. Now, I'm not going to finish this problem, but I'm going to just get it jump started. So that means this is -8. That means this is -15. I can notice it's an 8, 15, 17 family. Rule number 3, I didn't write it on here. Your hypotenuse is always positive. Your hypotenuse is always, always, always positive. You might be struggling with how a side of a triangle can be negative. It really isn't. It's just saying left 8. Down 15, but you keep track of it. Very important you keep track of it. But the question is, I've got angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Which of these 3 angles would be my reference angle according to this law? Well, it would have to be this angle would be my reference angle, which is huge because that sets the whole problem up. Because now this would be my opposite side. This is my adjacent side. This is my hypotenuse. Because it's always, sandwiched between the x-axis and the spinner. Here's my x-axis. Here's my spinner. It's got to be angle 2. So 3 humongous rules that you just have to know. Hypotenuse is always positive. How do you complete your triangle after you've done, you're done spinning your spinner? How do I know what my reference angle is? You got to know those things. Hopefully this helped you out a ton.